right, we are live with the Broken English brothers. We're missing a brother, but he's here in spirit. And to compensate, we are live with the Broken English father, my father, uh, Mitch English.
Hey, how are you? This is the Broken English podcast.
Yeah.
And now I'm not gonna, I ask a lot of questions for my job, so I might ask a lot of questions during this. Is that okay?
No.
Okay. I just want to know where is broken English coming. To me, it sounds like when you say broken English, it's like you guys are all messed up. Did I mess you guys up?
Talk about broken English.
Like, yes, very much.
Yeah, I cannot speak it in English.
I always use my name, and that's good that you're doing that because, when I first started in radio, do you know what my radio name was when I first started in radio?
Skipper?
No, that's Skippy. You're thinking of Skippy. No.
What, that actually was Skippy's?
No, I gave the name to Skippy. Scott, when I had a TV show out in Utah, I had an intern.
It's just the first thing that
Oh, okay. Well, I called him Skippy. That's why I thought maybe you were referring to that. No, I was modern Mitch English. When I worked in radio, when I first started becoming a DJ, and I was what they call a puker. Do you know what a puker is in radio?
Where you're just like,
hey everybody, hey. Because when you start in radio, you think you have to talk that way. Yeah. And so I go, hey everybody, what was it? 94 QI. No, it's on Power 108. Power 108, modern Mitch English here. And but I have a great story about that I'd love to talk about later about when I just realized I don't have to do that anymore. All right. Okay.
Well, just let it roll out.
Is there no way you can turn autofocus off?
I don't know. I'd have to fiddle with it, but the show must go on. We do this live, so to speak. I don't.
We get some new equipment in here, and so.
Yeah, that's right. We've upgraded. Did I already say that?
You did.
No, I mean you can tell the story now.
So I was, and it took me, for some reason I don't know what it was. I remember being on the radio, and I just started talking, and I just said it like a normal, like, hey, everybody. I was like, I don't know what's going on today, like while I was on the radio. I can't remember exactly what I was saying, but I just talked like we're talking right now, right? And I didn't think anything of it. And then somebody that I work with came up. She goes, oh, that was a funny break. You just sounded really good on the last one. I was like, really? I go, I didn't do anything. It was normal, yeah. And then I'm like, well, that's what people relate to. And I think it's so much, I don't know how it is now with the podcast, but when radio back in the 90s, radio was much more popular back then, you felt like you had to be a persona. But when it came down to it, being yourself is what people relate to, not somebody that's a character. Like a Jiminy Glick, he's a character, but he's not Jiminy Glick all the time.
Who is that?
That's Martin Short. He does Jiminy, he talks like this. Jiminy Glick, big. He gets in a big fat suit. Google it. No, it's like now. Jiminy Glick, Martin Short. Google it. It's hilarious. Anyway, I just use that as a example.
Well, and I don't want the audience to think that this is like canned or whatever. But I do want to point out, like when you were on the Daily Buzz, right? Just that was something I always appreciated. Was it felt like you guys were just actually talking, and it's not like. Because the newscasters, they always have the same voice. It feels like the men have their voice and the women have their voice, obviously. But they all sound the same to me, the exact same. It doesn't matter what they look like or anything. It's like the male voice and the female voice. And it's like, in other news, we're doing this or whatever. And so I always appreciate
you
that
get
the show.
One thing, it's funny you say that because I feel the same way. It was like, there's always this thing with when people aren't comfortable being themselves on camera, they will do one thing. They'll go, like, just say something kind of jokey at the end of like a story. Like, let's say it was a story about a guy that fell in the snow.
Yeah, and then he had fell in the snow and he died that night.
Well, let's just hope it didn't get too heavy. Yeah, and then they'll get their papers and they go, because they don't know what to say. But I was like, once I realized just being yourself, I would say, why would that be funny? The guy died. Why would you say that? Yeah. And that's what a real conversation is. But that's a pure example, not to use as a.
The little shticky or the can. It's like, well, let's hope that blah blah blah. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
And there's parts of my career where you still have to kind of do that sort of thing, where it's, just because of flow or maybe the person might not feel comfortable that you're talking to or whatever. So, people still do it, but I think it's all about conversation. Yeah, it's all about being real and being who you are. So that's my, I don't know how we got to that point, but we did, yeah.
How about we backtrack
Okay.
and talk about Skippy? I don't think I'll ever watch this, but I wanted to talk about him because I was mentioning it just gets brought up in conversation because like it's just weird to bring up like, oh yeah, the guy that lived with us and the what? It's like, yeah, when I was in high school, there's this the 35-year-old virgin he lived with.
Yes.
Or whatever, and then
it's weird. Yeah, that'd be weird to introduce somebody as the 35-year-old virgin that lived with me.
Well, but I mean, he made a name, like sort of around like the internet sphere because he was on this like podcast.
You should have him on here one day.
I mean,
do it via Zoom or something. He'd love to do it.
Maybe. But I just remember he'd drink like a 2-liter of Mountain Dew like every day, and I just like even as a teenager I was just like, that's a lot, man.
Really it is.
Oh, it is.
But anyway, so to back up a little bit, so when I had a talk show in Salt Lake City, Utah, and it was right around the Olympics time, and they gave me a morning show. It was a morning talk show, right? And initially they started off, it was in a small little room. I was pushed in the corner, and I'm like, this is just not, it was somebody else's, I felt like it was somebody else's show, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like it was me. And having worked in radio for a while up until that point, I really kind of wanted to make it feel like a show. But it was just me. And they go, here's a show. You need to do it. They gave me a director, kind of like Jules' is director, except for video and everything, who, his name is Kate. He had one arm. I'm not joking. And, what you do, it takes 2 arms sometimes to do stuff. Great guy. He still could do everything, but he had one arm. And I was just like, I need some help. And so we hired an intern. His name was Scott. His name's Scott Jessup, and he had done some radio as well. And I always give people nicknames. Everybody, I've always done that. And so I just started calling him Skippy, and it just stuck. And Skippy was known for every year at the Sundance Film Festival. And I'm kind of sad because Sundance left Utah. They're not going to do it in Utah anymore, which kind of stinks. Yeah. But anyway, every year he would go up there. And he would just get pictures with celebrities. And he has pictures with thousands and thousands of celebrities. And, and he would hold signs like, hey, free hugs and that kind of stuff. And people would come up to him because, they knew he was a fan. He was safe. He wasn't going to do anything weird. Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters, he met him one time, right? Yeah. This is the best story ever. And he was, he just got to know Skippy basically out in the street. They didn't hang out or anything like that. Well, he had talked to him, and Dave Grohl filled in for Chelsea Handler on Chelsea Handler's talk show out in L.A. one time. And Dave Grohl remembered Skippy from Sundance and invited Skippy out to be on the show, kind of like, not like a co-host kind of thing, like
Andy Richter
kind of, yeah, something like that. So he flew out. I mean, people knew Skippy, and he has a lot of celebrity friends. Yeah. And he was one of the guys. And I like, Skippy, how do you talk? I can't go up to celebrities. I just assume they just want to be left alone. Right. Leave them alone. They don't want to be talked. They get that, but he didn't mind, and he had something about him that people didn't mind taking pictures with him. So that's the Skippy story. Fast forward, that was when I was with when I was out in Utah. Then I got with the Daily Buzz. I was out in Daily Buzz for like 10 years. And after I left the Daily Buzz, I became an executive producer of a TV show in San Diego, and we needed a booking producer. And so I was like, hey, I've got a great guy that he will call people. I mean, like, he's very diligent.
He'll cold call. He'll hustle.
Right? If I said, I want get this guy, he would do everything he could to get it. To the point where I had Donny Osmond's manager call me one time and say, he needs to stop calling Donnie's house. Because that's how bad he was. Anyway, so he moved down to San Diego when we were living in San Diego, and he lived with us, and that's the whole story as he got set up.
Yeah, he was supposed to intern,
he was going to be like a help with booking and everything.
Yeah, and transition like a permanent role or however.
Right. So that's the Skippy story.
Right. Getting ahead of myself. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to go on like a tirade or anything, but I just remember the soda, that was the thing, and Little Caesars, he'd ordered Little Caesars.
I think they ate that every day.
Yeah, like.
I think, and I look back on that, like, I had lived, you move in and maybe like into a town, you don't know anybody and you're just working and stuff. It's whatever is the easiest, because it's not like he can go down and make dinner. He always ate dinner with us when he was living with us, but But you know what I'm saying? It was just easy for him to get a 2 liter of Mountain Dew and a
Well, 'cause
Little Caesars.
I think we live right next to Little Caesars.
Is that what it was?
It was something like that. Yeah.
But I do remember, yeah, he did. He went through a 2 liter a day. I remember that. You're right. Good guy, Skippy. I went and saw him actually a few months ago.
Really?
Yeah, I was back. No, yeah. Well, I was out visiting friends in Utah, and we went out. I took him out to lunch, and we talked. He's doing well out there, and I think he'd be a great guest.
Still a virgin?
You know, I don't know. I never talked to him about that. I don't know. That was his branding. If you go to iamskippy.com, you can. I think it takes him to his Facebook page, but he had a website that I would help him with and everything. Anyway, but why don't you have him on and then you can interview him? I think this should be about me, Brooker.
Well, I mean, it's cause that's the thing, right? Is because it's really just me and Carter like rambling and like just talking and.
Why did y'all want to do a podcast?
Well, I mean, it's just something to get into, like making creative, something somewhat creative, right? Just talking. I knew Carter is. I mean, he can yap for.
Carter he's a little bit like Skippy, where
he can
talk about anything, right? He can't. He honestly can. He got that from his mom, and he can talk, and he's very inquisitive, and he's genuine too. You know, he's genuine with his questions. So.
And I mean, and he's funny too.
Oh yeah, he's funny.
He'll just bring up something
quirky.
Like,
yeah.
He's like, so what would you do if blah blah blah. Like,
Brooker was you were my litmus test if what he was about to ask me was real or not. I guess, is this for real? Does he want to know? He's messing with you, Dad.
He's got he's got like cues, because if he ever says like, what would you do, or no, did you hear? He's like, so did you hear?
Yeah.
Like, it's a lie. But it's funny, and part of it is like, because I mean, I've known him for as long as I've been alive, whatever. But I used to just be like, it's a lie. Or like, I kill him. I just like do something like, oh, I'd kill him, or something like that, and just to shut it off.
And I'm glad you did, because like I would think what he's talking about was for real, and then I'm starting to process it, and then.
But in the context of the show, it's like it actually is more fun, like doing it in the show, but it's translated into like just our regular everyday lives, where I'm like, I will placate it. Like I'll go along with it. I'm like, well, I'll probably do this or whatever. Because it can be funny, and it's like kind of thought experiments in that way.
He and I love that about him. He just thinks differently about things, and I think we need people that think differently. And that's what I like about Carter, is that he just looks at things a lot different, and he's always he's always. I think he's trying. I think the shock value is what he goes after, and he got that from me. I know that he got that from me, because I love the shock value of, like, when I don't. Whenever we're talking about something serious, maybe it might, like, somebody can feel I don't want people crying in front of me, whatever, and so I'll just come out from left field with something that's really stupid, but say it as if it's like for real, and then see if they're like, what? That didn't make any. And then they forget, they kind of change, and they'll start laughing.
Like we were talking the psycho.
The psycho, yeah. And so, I can't take. I think he got it from me, but if he didn't, he's done it a much better job of like doing shock value stuff. He just wants to get you, and it does stop. He's like, why are you asking me that? But and you're like, does he know something that I don't know? And then I got to the point now where I'm like, all right, let me fester out what he's trying to figure out, what he's trying to say, and then he's just trying to keep the conversation going. So I can imagine doing a podcast with him is interesting and fun at the same time.
Yeah, no, he was the first, and I mean, he was like the first person. I'm like, we need to get him on some kind of platform, right? Like, I feel like the stuff he can say and the way he can talk, and in a lot of ways is really entertaining, and I'm like, it shouldn't just be left to me, and this isn't like viral or worldwide or anything, but for our friends, it's like he's got these really funny moments, and it'd be cool to kind of memorialize them on the internet, and we can look back like when we're older.
When he has kids, just as like you can look back like, well, this is how Dad used to act, that sort of thing. Yeah. If you ever have kids, he might not ever want kids. I don't know.
Well, you gonna ambush me now?
I'm not gonna say that. I'm just saying, yeah, it is a nice little archive that you have of what you were going through during that time. Whereas I had radio, my 90s is me talking like this all the time, and trying to be something that maybe that I wasn't, and up until that point. But I don't know how you feel. I don't like watching myself back, but it's the best way to get better, and you have to do it. So there's stuff, and I used to be much fatter. I was twice the size I used to be, so I don't like looking at my old stuff.
No, I get that. I mean, it's a lot different, but it's similar. Like when I had really bad acne. Not that it's great now, but I mean, yeah, just But I feel a lot more confident with the way I look and wanting to do voice stuff. Like if you don't like the way that you sound, like that's just a recipe for disaster. So I just kind of got over it in that way, and I don't mind it now. I like looking back at recordings and stuff. I'm like, that's me.
Well, good for you. That's
stuff.
I mean, there's a little bit of self-confidence you have in that, which I think you've always had, is that self-confidence. I feel like if I go back and look at it, I'm going to critique myself too much, and then I'm going to like, man, I suck. I hate it.
I mean,
but you have to do it. You have to do it, man.
I mean, I get there too, where I'm just like, ugh. Well, like the Great Piggy Bank Adventure, like,
dude,
you sent that, and I was like, oh man.
You did so good. So,
maybe it was good,
how old were you on that? 8 years old. So I was telling you were at 10. I didn't realize it. And the whole thing about that. So when I was working at the Daily Buzz, they needed to have what they call a cub reporter. They wanted to do something down at Disney, and they have a kid do the report, and that sort of thing. Disney World, right? Disney World. And I said, well, hey, my son is really good at that kind of stuff. And so I remember you coming up to the studio, giving you a script. You had it memorized by the time we got to Disney. They were so concerned that we had to go behind the scenes at Disney. They made a route so that you wouldn't see. This is stuff you didn't know. Probably they were like, yeah, we can't have him coming through here. Like they go, we'll have him come in through Mexico.
Because they have like the tunnels and stuff, and
they didn't want you to see any of the magic, because that's what Disney does. That's why they're successful, is that you don't ever see the magic, how it's made. And anyway, so I remember that, and you just nailed every piece. And I went back and looked at it, and you know how much I hate chewing gum. For some reason, I had chewing gum in my mouth, and I'm disgusted. While you and I were talking, I think because you were doing stuff, and my breath might have stunk or something. Somebody gave me some gum or whatever. And I guess when we did a shot, we were doing some B-roll shots, like you were playing a game, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it's like, but that's what I remember, because I hated seeing it. But anyway, you nailed it. And I thought, well, this kid he's going to want to be on TV. And
there was a time where I wanted to, but then I think
you did a great job. But everybody said that, even at 8 years old.
Have you ever heard of this? So I've heard it's like kids that are really shy when they're young, like become outgoing when they're older, and the vice versa. Now, of course, that's not like a blanket statement. That's not the case for every single person in the world. But I think I was really shy as a kid. And it wasn't until I got older that I'm like, because I feel like I'm pretty extroverted now, like wanting to, I can just talk to people, when I want to. Anyways, I don't really do it now because I don't really go out. But neither here nor there. But I wanted to, but like just being on camera is still intimidating in a lot of ways.
Really,
now I'm like, I'm so comfortable being in front of the camera.
Isn't it weird how like those sort of things hold you back? Is like if you just knew that. Dude, you do great on camera. I remember you not messing up. Like you had your lines memorized, you had your questions, you even knew what to do, and your blocking, you did everything great. But maybe because you were so nervous, and I might have added to that being nervous. Like maybe if I wasn't around, you felt like maybe you could be more yourself. That sort of thing. I don't know. Like Dad's going to tell me I did something wrong, and I had no critique other than you did a great job.
No, I just.
We should show that on here. You should show it. I'm telling you.
I mean, I could link it because you sent it to me on the phone or something. I just remember watching, like, how did he get this pulled out? I thought this was lost media.
No idea. Have you seen it, Julie? Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, she's like,
for 8 years old with all that red hair and everything. Yeah, you mentioned about being shy. I think that most people that are, you say that they're shy, is that they're shy with one-on-one. But they're comfortable with a group of people. Or at least that's how I felt like I've always been my entire life.
I'm the opposite. I can go one-on-one, but.
And I envy that, man. I wish I could be. Like, I mean, I know you obviously, so I'm very comfortable right now. But like, if you were sitting down and somebody, I feel like knowing that other people are watching, I think that adds a little to that energy. But if there was no cameras here, I think I would just be. Like, oh, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know. They're not interested in what I have to say. Even as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking people are probably bored to death hearing what I'm talking about. But But if you had like a studio audience or a bunch of like,
let's get him in here.
I think so. And I think that I'm because I'm playing to them and I'm getting a reaction and I can kind of gauge. That's my gauge of like how I'm doing.
Did I ever tell? This is completely. I mean, it's somewhat tangential, but do you remember I was on Dr. Phil? It was in the audience.
I'm just looking up tangential. I don't know what that means.
Oh, so it's like related.
I'm
to,
joking with you, bro.
okay.
Yeah, you were Dr. Phil. You were dancing, right?
Yeah. So when we lived in California because of the show, whatever, I'm a kid. Our psychology class, they had a field trip to go to Dr. Phil, and there's two things that stick out to me, and the main one is I just remember like Los Angeles is disgusting. Like there's trash everywhere. All the buildings have graffiti and stuff, and then you just turn the corner and you're in this like really nice studio. Like there's like all the plants are beautiful and everything, and I'm just like, this is so weird. Anyways, we get in and like, all right, we need people to come up here and get the audience excited because we want
energy,
a chair and get energy, and like so come up and dance. I just remember I was going through I'm just gonna do stupid stuff like I'm gonna put myself out there.
Good.
I went up and I did like a little moonwalk and like whatever, and I remember sweating just like I was like so nervous after the fact.
But that's a good experience for you, and you probably helped out what that does is like this kid's what, how old were you? 13, 14 years old.
Idiot, right?
He's fine, and that energy comes off of that. That's why they have a pre-show. And it also probably taught you a little bit about how things are not real, and what you're seeing on Facebook, what you're seeing right now, making things look what they are, but they're not necessarily that way. You know what I'm saying? Like what you could portray is what we're trying to convince you of, that the viewer is watching, and nothing is real. So you're just, as you said, you went into the studio and this,
this is weird.
And if you had went up to the set, well, obviously I'm sure it was done very nice, but no, that's not a real plant, or that's not a real city behind him, and that sort of thing.
That's not a real doctor.
That's Amen. That's good. That would have been good for a commercial break. That would have been awesome.
It's like, and we'll be right back.
And we'll be back right after this.
Or that'd be the news ones. Like, well, and he's not really.
Or he's not either. Well, don't tell him that with the thing with the certificate he has on the wall.
Yeah.
We'll be back right after this.
I was watching a video about him, like, just basically he was a psychologist, right? But he just let it lapse, and he's like, I don't need it because I don't practice psychology, and I don't think it was ever officially announced, but it could open him up to like a lawsuit with him doing psychology on the air. But he's like, oh, I'm not a psychologist. Nope, I don't claim that. I just talk to people and get them the help that they need to people that are licensed or whatever. I mean, that should just tell. I don't remember anything about the episode. I couldn't tell you a single detail about it.
I think that also says a lot about the California educational system, is that they thought that taking you to Dr. Phil would be great for the psychology class, which talked about nothing really about psychology.
But
you're fat because you want to be fat.
Yeah, you're fat because you want to be. It's like, I don't care.
I like Dr. Phil. I think he's made a great career. I don't, he is what he is, right?
It's another symptom of Oprah. I'm not going to get into that, but she made like Dr. Oz and stuff.
Yeah.
Me and Carter talked about this, like, because Dr. Phil, like, I can appreciate the show and who he is and what he does to an extent, but like a lot of it is, I feel, I don't want to say predatory, but like manipulative in a way, like taking advantage, because he doesn't. A lot of these people don't get real help. Did you ever see the one? It was like I didn't even know this, but it was a Survivor winner. The Mark, do you remember, Julie? Maybe not. It doesn't matter. Anyways, he won. He was like the first like openly gay Survivor player or something like that. And
that'd be the first winner. The guy that walked naked, he was gay. But continue on.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Richard
Branch, something like that. But yeah. Go ahead.
No. Anyways, no. Okay, not first openly gay, but he was gay. And he went on and said, like, oh, they were trying to, because he's like alcoholic out the wazoo, and so he said they like planted alcohol in his studio.
I believe it.
They isolated his parents away from him so that he would be tempted to drink it. And to an extent, I believe it because he walked onto stage, like, you know how long in advance they plan these kind of things. It's not just like, we're going to pull you in right now. And he was, I mean, I think they said his blood alcohol content, because they did a breathalyzer, was like 0.45. Like he could have been dead.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like 0.08 is the limit. It was like 0.4 or something crazy like that. And he's like, just.
He was
like
intoxicated.
Drunk. Yeah, like you could tell. And he's like, we need to get you help. He's like, I don't want help or whatever. But it's like, what?
A little bit exploitative, right?
Yeah, that's the word, exploitative. And then I always remember the one. It's the guy he dressed up as him. Do you ever remember that?
As Dr. Phil, yeah, and he shaved his head. Yeah.
Fights. Yeah, he's like, well, you do the exact same thing. He's like, you just exploit people for money and all their troubles. He's like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. Get your stuff. You can leave. It's like.
But he did invite him on.
Yeah,
did the guy? I don't know the whole story behind that. Did he invite him on knowing that he was going to be like do Dr. Phil, or did he walk out? But hey, for that, but
you think he's sitting?
I'll tell you two things about that.
He's sitting in that green room before they start taping.
Because the guy shaved his head, didn't he?
Well, he was wearing. Are you serious? Oh no.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the story.
That's okay.
Can you?
What happened? Did they go out?
Mic's muted.
Oh, it's not recording.
It's not even.
Okay, is it recording now? Is it?
It's not picking up.
It's not picking up at all.
It says it's muted.
How? I don't even.
Did you
know
press
how
the button at the bottom?
I don't even know how to
There you
mute.
go. It's back.
It's back on. Are you serious?
I don't know how long it's been off.
Well, it's probably been off the whole time.
Might be able to pick it up from my side. All right.
Well, this is part of the technical difficulties. I didn't even know. I thought, why is there no symbol to tell if you're even?
Here, I'll put mine right here. Yeah, it seems like it should be able to have something.
Well, you'd think like the bottom would be red, but see, that's the problem, because we'd have to go back and.
I think you just sat on it when you moved.
Imagine going back and doing that, because it's like, then I don't know. Whatever. We'll deal with it. Whatever happens, we'll deal with it.
All right, well, I don't mind
fix
going
it.
back. But okay, the point I was going to get at is that it is ratings, number one.
Yeah.
But if he did have that guy out and planned it, people, the people that are watching Dr. Phil are not watching that hate him. They love him, right? That's why they watch him and when you pick on your people, that makes you that much more beloved. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like when you feel like you're being, like if I came on here and attacked you, you're going to be liked more and people are not going to like me, right? Because I'm the bad guy. I'm coming in here. And they're like, they need to leave Dr. Phil alone. And
leave him alone.
And, him being a psychologist, I'm certain he knew they would get some kind of reaction like that, right? You know what I'm saying? Where the audience would obviously pick the real Dr. Phil side, and then that would make him a little bit more endearing that, he has to go through that. And again, he's made a great career out of it. It's all Dr. Phil. Oprah had picked him up when she got sued about that beef down in Texas. The whole thing. That's where she met him. He was a witness in her court trial because she was talking about the beef, the cattle industry, and said some defamatory things about the beef industry. And so the beef industry sued Oprah, and it was a real deal. That's where and she had met Dr. Phil that way.
And then I guess she gave him like a platform on her show. It was like, oh, we're here with Dr. Phil, and he's going to talk about this or whatever. And then then he and because I think she owns or owned or whatever Dr. Phil, like the show.
Harpo Productions, who produced the Oprah show, which was just a complete moneymaker. Which had anybody that she came on Oprah's book club. And it's a machine. And so she was like, okay, I'm not going to be doing this forever. I need to have some other franchises, much like how, I have Daily Flash, but we have El Flash Latino and Flash Travel and Life Love Shopping, these other shows that we promote that I'm now using to exploit to promote. But you need other revenue because it just makes your industry that much bigger. And say what you want about Oprah, she had something and she had a good team behind her.
No, she knew what she was doing, but
I don't agree with everything she says.
But she knew what she was doing. That's all I'm trying to say.
There you go. And just going back to the Dr. Phil and the fake Dr. Phil, he knew what he was doing.
No, because he was wearing Dr. Phil's suit, like the tan suit or whatever, and then he had the mustache. And it's like, no, he didn't come in and like do a switcheroo on them or something. Like they knew what was going on.
I remember hearing about. I remember when all that came out. I didn't follow it very clear, but
I don't want to talk to you.
I think, but he had that opportunity to. What he was doing was talking to all of his haters.
Yeah.
And he used that person as the conduit to be able to talk to. I don't want to talk to you, whatever. And we're also at a place where we're talking about it right now. So people, I'm sure, are going to look for it. And so Dr. Phil knows that. And that's what it is. If he didn't, he would never have aired that episode, right?
Well, yeah.
And then Catch Me Outside Girl. Think about that.
I intentionally tried to avoid
Good,
talking
me too.
about it.
Yeah. And, but that's what it is. And I think just being in the industry, I think that some of those things are out of his control sometimes, I mean, until you are the boss and the one making all of the decisions, they're like, he's got a team behind him saying, no, we got to do this. We got to do this. Because otherwise, if he didn't believe in it, why didn't he come out afterwards and say, say this was a disgrace. I'm so sorry that this even came on, or even aired it.
Well, okay, I lied. I will bring her up just to an extent, but because about the ranch, he'd send the trouble team. Yeah. So I guess there was a counselor murdered there from one of the teenagers. And they say, oh, just don't talk about it or whatever. Oh, wow. And she was there when it happened, and so she came out and talked. She's like, Dr. Phil, you need to apologize or whatever because of the how this place was and all that, and because he would promote it, constantly. It's the best treatment you're gonna get or whatever. And then it became like a whole big deal because we're like, whoa, the environment here is terrible. Like there's been like 2 murders and like there was like a sexual assault on one of the teenagers and just crazy stuff like that. And he says, well, once you leave the show, I mean, that has nothing to do with, I don't know what goes on out there or whatever. But of course, in the past, he's promoting these like super hard or whatever. I don't know what goes on, and I don't have any say-so in what they do.
So it sounds like,
So he just tried to brush it off, disavow.
Now, did he own that? Was that him, or was that he would sub it out?
Yeah, it was
which gave him plausible deniability.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to face any or never would or never will. But it's just like a moral thing. Like, can you apologize for promoting this place that has happened, these atrocities happen?
And he was promoting it even after
I think after like the big blowback, no, but because they ended up like going under, like the company that owned that, because they had like a treatment center too or something. I don't remember all the details. It was off a video I watched, but just like Dr. Phil.
Well, he's all about, controversy sells. Otherwise, if everybody got along, it's unfortunate. That's just the way it is. And I wish the world was better that way. And it's easy just to look at things and just say, well, it's easy to, it's bad things happen in the world. We're trying to fix it. And that seems like that's what it always comes back to, is that we're trying to fix things. And so this is the source of where we're trying to fix things. And I think we're getting now so segmented out that, with podcasts like this or whatever, you can go down and find your niches of what you want to follow. My only thing is just quit being an echo chamber and just being more of like responsible, and also maybe showing all sides of everything and be more transparent of what you are presenting.
I agree, but it's like you said, and it gets Carter's go. I just live with it, but like the bad press is good press. That has never been more true than it is right now.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. That's what makes it happen.
There was something I was going to mention. Oh yeah, what's going on with Mitch Please? Like when did that start
Okay,
happening?
so I do radio. I'm on a national radio show, and then I'm having, and then of course I do daily flash. And the Mitch Please segment is basically just some. You can get your merchandise. Oh yeah, right here. You can get your. How did that wind up there? That's interesting.
How did it?
I would always promote my website. I've had that, my caricature, there, and they would say MitchEnglish.com. And I think people would remember that more. It's kind of like, Andre the Giant picture. You ever seen that? The Andre, you've seen it. You probably just don't realize you've seen it. Anyway, it's like black and white and everything. It's just familiarity, right? Anyway, the Mitch Please thing is just something along the line of crazy stories. If you go to our website, dailyflashshow.com.
We'll put that on the screen right
There's
now.
a section called Mitch Please, and it's just weird. It's stupid stories around the world. And so basically the whole thing is, we're telling stories, and it's just a way to set up like, all right, when we do Mitch Please, it's going to be a stupid, funny story. It's not going to, somebody did something stupid or something odd.
When did it start? Because it feels like a new thing.
We started on the radio. I can't take credit with it completely. My co-hosts, Jerry and T-Wall, they do it. We do a little bit different on the radio, where I read the news and then they tell the jokes. And whereas I do on television, I do the story and the jokes. I kind of narrate and I curate the segment there. So we started pushing that, and you know, it obviously, Mitch, please. You know, we always say it.
So where did the phrase come from?
I'm
I'm just messing.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm just messing.
You know,
It's like a bait.
Yeah. Because you know, yeah, well, bitch please is where it came from. That's what it makes it. It's a female dog. So.
What? No, I like it. I just wanted because I'm like,
quirky.
it's new. Because I still have the bumper sticker, the MitchEnglish.com.
Every time I come out, I'll put a magnet on your car, and if I don't see one on there, I'll put a magnet on it. And
it's still on there. It should be anyway.
One on our fridge.
And your fridge. You saw the new one? Yeah, it's a Mitch please. And
No,
you
no,
have
I
one on
like
your
it.
shirt. You can take it off if you like, but I have magnets, and they're free. I'm not selling them, so yet.
There you go.
That's where it's at. That's where it came from.
Well, cool. What do you still do? Modern Cow? Is that?
Yeah, that's my production company. It's called Modern Cow Creative, and
I know it sounds like I'm just trying. This is just like, oh hey, I haven't seen you in a while, so I'm like asking questions, but it sounds like I'm like prepping you like an interview. I'd say I'm just like legitimately curious.
So Modern Cow. So where Modern Cow came from, as you know, they might not know, but I'm a huge David Letterman fan, right? And I always have been. I think he's my hero. I love David Letterman since I was young, you know, geez, when I was 13. I remember the first time I saw David Letterman. I go, this guy's hilarious. He said he was doing his monologue, and okay, we'll back up a little bit. We were on family vacation. We stopped at a hotel. It was kind of late at night, obviously. And we turned on the TV, and Letterman was on. I didn't know who he was, never seen him before. And he's just walking up. And one thing that I love about Letterman is he never stood in place, and he would play with the camera and stuff. And I'm sure have seen me do that while I was, you know, doing weather all the time. Which, back up a little bit, he used to be a weatherman too.
Really?
Yeah, he started off in Indiana as a weather anchor. And anyway, and he's just standing there like, ah. Now keep in mind, I'm 13, 14 years old. Okay, and he's like, look at this crap. And I go, you're not allowed to say crap on TV, right? I always thought, but it's just crap, right? And to me, I just busted out laughing. My family, and I go, he just said crap on TV. I thought it was hilarious, and I was a fan ever since. Anyway, so back up. His production company is called Worldwide Pants, and he was asked, where does Worldwide Pants come from? And he did this one thing one time where, I don't think it came from this, but he had these pair of pants on. He took them off and he put them in one of these trucks, in a glass case truck, and just drove it around the United States where people go. Anyway, and so he named his production company Worldwide Pants. It makes no sense, which I like that sort of thing and like that story here. I love cows. As I told you when I first started off, I was modern Mitch English, so Modern Cow.
Right.
That's where it came from. So Modern Cow Creative is an official business. You know, it's an LLC, and that's how I do all my production work through that, even through some subsidiaries of what we do on television with my TV shows.
Well, cool.
That's what Modern Cow came from. And my lovely wife, Liza, is my bookkeeper, and she does everything. Whereas her mom and dad, her dad was an attorney, and her mom ran the office. So she was very proficient with her dad, and Liza just kind of picked that up, and it makes it so much easier for me. So it's a real company. I didn't just make it up.
It's been a real company, as long as I can remember. But, okay, there's one thing I want to bring up. It has nothing to do with anything we've been talking about, but it just happened, and I just remembered it. So we're at IHOP yesterday, and, you know, we eat whatever. Bill comes, and what did she say? She gives him the...
She gave me the tab.
She gives Mitch the tab.
Because we did say, put it all on one, and I was like, make sure it's on one. So
right.
So obviously that kind of gave her the cue that I'm the one.
And something she said, like I misheard her, and Julie over there, she misheard her as well. But she said hands him the iPad.
This is hilarious.
And says, it's like, and it's going to ask you if you want to leave a tip, which, for whatever that means, I've never heard like a server at a sit-down restaurant say that. It's usually people that are like working at like a Subway or like just something where you go, you order your food, okay, here's your food. Like a sit-down, I feel like we're all pretty accustomed that you're gonna tip.
Yeah, I always tip 20% no matter what.
Right. Well, hold on. Anyways, but no, like it's known. Okay, here's your bill, and then or whatever. But she hands him the iPad and says, oh, okay, it's going to ask you if you want a tip, and either way, you'll need your signature. And then she looks across the table to Julie and says, could you scan this with your phone real quick and leave a review for me?
And then my name is such and such. And
Well, no, she leaves, comes back,
Okay.
and then Julie's like struggling like to find her to remember her password. She's like, "Oh, that's Celia, Celia. Thank you," and then walks off. And we're like, I'm like, I don't
she had a
know.
QR code on
Yeah,
her badge.
on her badge,
then,
and she's just like putting it like
she
in
handed the
front
money
of me.
to hand the money to me, and then went to Julie. Said, "Yeah, just scan this right here and put a good review for me, please." And,
Like, yeah, so I'm sitting right here, and then she reaches across me, so she's like right in front of me, and then having her scan. It was just so jarring to me, and I don't think I could ever do that. If I was a server, I don't think I could ever like.
there's ways to do it. I think, it sounded like they were really making her do that.
No, not to me.
I feel like their manager is like, listen, we got to get these reviews, and whoever has the best review is going to get a tip,
Okay,
bonus.
yeah,
Or something.
maybe I
I
can
could
see
see there was some kind of incentive there to doing that. However, it seems like if you would want another one's like, hey, I just wanted to make sure that everything was okay. Did you guys enjoy your meal? Yada yada, and then I go, is there any issues or anything at all? And you go, no, it's great, it's great. Would you mind letting my bosses? But I don't think she had that. Her personality would have done that. But that's if I was forced to do it, that's how I would do it. I go, look, man, I hate to ask.
Yeah,
you
no,
guys.
that's how I'd be like, look, they really want us.
Be honest, be
hey,
upfront, right?
If you don't mind, it really helped me out. But she's like, will you leave a review for me? Like, just very straightforward. Like, how do I say no? I don't think she
I think the
did.
best part was you ordered for me too, so like I didn't speak to her.
No, that's a very good point. And it was odd. I feel that she went to you, because I got thinking about this later. It's because, all right, the old man, he's not going to know how to get on here and do this.
No, yeah,
right? Like, which I'm really good at that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know why they didn't ask you. Maybe you look mean or something. I don't. But I think, like, well, if anybody is going to, get on and be very proficient, it would be her. You know what I'm saying? That's the feeling I got.
Didn't you have
from
your
that.
phone out too? That
Maybe
might
that
have
might
been
have
why.
been
If you were
why.
playing on your phone, because I left mine in my
That
pocket.
might have been why. That was funny. Yeah.
I don't think it was because I had my sunglasses on top of it and I was trying to
So
communicate.
I don't
Yeah.
know, but
that is funny. But she had it right there and had one of those where
yeah, like a lanyard
that
pull.
stretches out, and she put it right there and had a QR code.
Oh yeah, she's not, huh?
But
We
they
could.
did that at Kohl's too, like how they forced us to do the reviews and stuff. They give us
Oh, yeah.
QR codes and we would have to harass people.
Oh man,
Yeah, and that's here you go. That's the world you live in. It seems like they would have had something, since I had the pad right here. Maybe make a survey thing on the pad that I can.
that's how most
wanna
restaurants do it.
right.
Like you go to Olive Garden, it just says, "Hey, would you like to do a survey?" Right? How was your server? How was your service? How was your food? Whatever. And that's usually how they do it. I guess IHOP's behind on the times. One other thing I remember, we're just sitting there and she goes, "Ah!" Like just screams out of nowhere. I'm like, what the?
That was weird.
And the whole restaurant, at least on our side, just kind of like quiet. And she's walking up the table, and they're like, "Oh, okay."
That was odd. Well, this day and age, technology is there. I've had servers where they'll say, hey, we're just trying to make sure that everybody has the best service, and kind of the setup for it. It was just odd how she's like, well, he's going to be busy paying. He's an old man.
Yeah,
He
just
ain't
like,
gonna do it. And then went right to Julie, because thinking, well, she's the young, millennial that would know how to do this. Is the feeling that I got from it. Right? Like
Yeah,
you would know how to
Zoomer.
do it, because that's all girls do, is just get on and do stuff like that.
I don't know, but it just
That's my prejudice.
Because I've been to IHOP a lot of times, and I don't know, nothing like that has happened. I don't know if it's like a new thing or what, but
First off, I want to know, they have not one, they call it the International House of Pain. And what other countries are represented in that? Right, we'll be back right after this. But
They have the
I never understood. Yeah, they have the flag. But
They have the flag.
The only I ever seen was a Belgian waffle.
you know what I don't get? Why do they call it, Burger King? I mean, what are you the king of? We'll be right back.
We'll be back right after this. I think Burger King.
I think it's just some random name. That sounds cool.
I have a feeling at one time they had like, oh, get the Italian pancake, and
because they have the Mexican tres leche.
Okay, so
maybe that's
Mexico's
why.
represented.
Yeah.
Belgian
waffles.
Belgian waffles, you have that. And as far as I know, I don't ever remember seeing any American food on there. But
No, there
I guess does it say
There's-
American?
Well, no, that was the whole. There was like a whole ad campaign. The IHOB. Do you remember that? The
Yeah,
American-
and it has burgers, right?
Yeah,
they changed it for that
burgers.
one, yeah.
I remember they had there was like a ketchup bottle and said take a selfie, and then she gets out her phone and she has the ketchup holding it like this. It was one of my friends. I don't know, it's just a stupid little thought I had.
For
Well, it's on the ketchup bottle. It's like take a
Oh,
selfie with
okay,
Heinz.
okay,
Like, yeah, you want to give us free advertising? Like, I know you love taking pictures with your ketchup bottle, but like just being sincere, she grabbed the ketchup and then like did that. And, like just like swapped it, and so we're all laughing at her the whole rest of the day.
and how many times? Nobody. You do that, and you're like, well, now Heinz is. Yeah, they're gonna load me up with all kinds of stuff, and you
yeah.
never hear from them at all.
Yeah.
It was just like when I got married to Liza, I love Duke's mayonnaise. That's the only kind of mayonnaise. And we made a joke because we wanted to have fun. We put our wedding bands in a mayonnaise jar, and Zoe.
I don't remember this.
Zoe walked up with the mayonnaise jar, and it had our wedding bands in it.
Wasn't it empty though?
Yeah, it was empty. Yeah, of course. And
Oh,
but it was a Duke's mayonnaise jar, and I was like, and I thought.
Picture.
I thought it'd be funny. No, it was just inside of an empty mayonnaise jar.
And you guys like suck the mayonnaise off
No.
while you're putting it on.
No.
So what we do in our bed is our own business.
All right.
Okay?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I thought, I'm going to tell you one thing that I did think was really cool. I was so nervous that day. You guys were there, right? You were there, right?
Yeah.
That was before my time.
I think I was there, wasn't I?
Yes, you were there. You were one of our ushers. And I was so nervous, when we had to exchange vows, and he would tell me, he's like, say this, and I kept screwing up. And you would think, I was legitimately nervous, like I would screw up the lines of what I'm supposed to say, and so I kept on messing up. I never thought I was doing it on purpose. I swear, I was just very nervous at the time, and I'm
Really?
squeezing Liza's hand. I go, oh, what else am I supposed to say? And then because of the DJ we had, and we joke about this on the radio show all the time, the DJ we had, for some reason, screwed up on the music, and when Liza was supposed to walk down, they played Fancy by Reba McEntire, and I'm like, no, my new wife is not going to be walking down the aisle. The DJ, his name was DJ Smells So Good.
Yeah, I remember. We were like, oh, okay. I remember, yeah,
I'm getting a call from, should I take it? Or this is from Hugo.
Oh, yeah.
All right, he left. All right, there we go.
Oh, okay.
But everybody said that was the most fun wedding they've ever gone to. And,
It was fun,
And
yeah.
it was not planned. But what I wanted to get to about that, speaking of how, if you can kind of tell the family I've married into, is Liza's parents gave everybody
I was going to mention this.
glasses
Yeah, I love
like
that.
this. And again, I want to go back. That's why I was talking about how nervous I was. And then after I kissed the bride, and they go, Mitch, look at the crowd. And I'm like,
He's like,
looking.
what's
I go, what? What am I looking at? And he's like, look. And I'm like, what? What am I looking at? And I'm serious. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at
There's like
everybody.
100 people, like 100 people.
Right, 100 people there, and I'm looking, and then I'm like, what am I looking? And they're like, why? They all have glasses. And I'm like, and even when I saw that they had glasses, I go, well, why are they wearing glasses? What's going on? And then I looked
Yeah.
over to Liza's parents, and they were like, and then I put it all together, and I thought that to me was the coolest thing.
Yeah, no,
I felt like I was
great.
welcome into their family by doing that. It was great.
No, it was fun. It was awesome going behind your back and sneaking by.
No
and
idea.
giving
No
the
idea y'all were
glasses.
doing that. And y'all were the ones that hand them out?
Yeah, me.
What
and,
did they tell you?
Well, they're just like, hey, just give one to everyone. Tell them as soon as he says, it was like, or kiss the bride
Kiss the
or
bride.
something like that, to put them on. So we're like telling everybody, and I'm like, oh, he's coming.
I had no idea.
No, it was fun. Yeah, it was great.
And they bought 100 pair of glasses for everybody. I just thought, to me, that made me feel very welcome. Their parents, her parents, are just wonderful people.
Yeah, they're nice.
I mean, just salt of the earth people there. The interesting thing about that whole experience too is I had told them, I said, look, I want you guys to know, I go, we're going to have fun. Like, Aaron had built me a little stand because Liza is 2 inches taller than I am. And so I said, I had said, I go, look, we're going to kind of be joking around, but I want you to know I'm really serious about this. I didn't want him thinking like, Mitch is doing this for a bit. And I just wanted it to be a fun event. And the fact that they got in on it made it that much better. Some things that you guys probably didn't know about. So now my boss is calling me.
What's our time look like, Jay?
50. that's not including like technical difficulties and stuff.
Oh, okay.
All right. I'm kind of like Carter right now, right? Where I'm just not like I get on my phone.
Here, let me get on mine.
Is that
So
what
for our audio listeners right now, or audio only, I'm just gonna ramble. Not really. I think we're actually back on. Do you need to take it or anything? I mean,
No, she'll send me a message. I'm sure they need me to do something. I jump on. I'm going to be jumping on the computer soon anyway. So
Okay.
I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm completely fine.
We were talking about your wedding. That's really
Yeah, the wedding was great. The the reception, Enzo at the time was 11 years old, and I paid him $80. I wanted him to have fun too, and
your stepson.
my stepson Enzo, your stepbrother, and I said I wanted to see how far, because you could probably see me doing this to y'all, right? Wanted to see how far he would do something. I was like, I tell you, he wanted some money. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll pay you $80 if you dress up in a banana outfit and dress up in a banana outfit and do a ribbon dance to the theme song to Dynasty. I was trying to find like the weirdest thing, thinking, well, he ain't gonna do it, right? And so I was like, well, just in case. Apparently he was practicing. He practiced with the ribbon. It was everybody was like, why is this?
Well, yeah, it was
weird, right?
Yeah, it was kind of like.
And then people kind of.
And then you kind of got into it. It was like,
okay, I see what we're doing. Now you're having a banana dance, doing a ribbon dance, to Dynasty, which was a TV show back in the '80s. And I just love that it was weird, and but that's how I think Liza and our relationship is. She loves, just like I do, Tim and Eric, awesome show, great job, and all those things.
Right,
like we had that same sensibility as far as she gets that, and so I wanted it to be weird, and we kind of share that
I was
kind of
thinking
sense of humor.
how funny it would be, like, because at first, like when it happens, it's like, oh, okay, and then you kind of get into it, but it's like, imagine if that went on for like 45 minutes.
Yeah,
he's just doing that.
It's all about timing. That's why I chose Dynasty, because it was only a minute and a half long. There's a theme song. I didn't want to. Yeah, you do a 5-minute song. Yeah, you're right. 5 minutes. That's way too long.
Yeah, just be like, but it gets funny again.
It gets funny. It's stupid. It's very stupid. Okay, when is this going to end? All right, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's like
that's Letterman's. He pounds. He said. Nothing. What is his quote? Nothing worth doing isn't overdoing, and just keep doing. That's his sensibility, and that's my and that's why I love Tim Robinson. I think I think he's my new guy that like I could hang out with him. You familiar with Tim Robinson?
Yeah, I'm really mad that I didn't come up with something like. Of course, that's just how it is. But the whole drive-through bit. I'm
on 55 minutes.
Yeah, I'm so mad because, I worked in a drive-thru and I hated the passing on, and like, you have that thought, it's like, well, I'm just gonna order a bunch of food, but like the way they presented it, I'm trying to do something. Like, I'm like, man, how funny would that? I mean, it's comedy gold. I feel like something like that.
I think we've all thought of it, and if you're not familiar with it, he goes up and says, "Hey, I want to pay for the guy behind me," and the way that those things go is the person behind him will pay for the person behind him. So he orders and he pays for the guy behind him, and then zooms off and comes around back. He goes, "I want 55 hamburgers, 55 fries, 55 soft drinks, 55 goes." So the guy in front of him
and he looks back. He's like, "I'm not paying that." He said, "You have to." Yeah. No, but I'm like, it's so perfect. But I could never do that, right? Because you need that certain level of production value, and that's what makes it so funny. Is like, because you rent out like a drive-through or whatever. Because I don't know. I mean, people, innovation.
It's a bit. It was a production, and he gets that. I love the fact that when he was on Saturday Night Live, he wasn't in a lot of bits, but he wrote a lot of bits. Then he left and did Detroiters. And with Lorne Michaels, and I think Lorne Michaels saw something in him, even though when he was on Saturday Night Live, he wasn't in a lot. He was not in the bits, but he helped write so many of them. And I think now he's just really blossoming. And I love seeing it. But there's also a part, I don't know how you feel, when everybody, like you kind of like knew him before he was this big. You kind of like you protect him somewhat, and then he gets real big. And the Chair Company, I don't know if you see that, is something that.
Carter's been telling me about
it. That is Carter's humor right now, right?
Yeah,
that's me and Carter's 100%. It makes no sense. It's weird. It's uncomfortable. I love uncomfortable humor. That's why I like the British office more than the American office. It's that uncomfortableness, that shock value, and then not knowing how to act around weird situations. So that's my type of humor.
No, I love that too. Like I've been getting a lot more into Tim Heidecker and stuff like that.
He's amazing.
But what is it? Just real quick, I was thinking about just the Conway Twitty bit from Family Guy, like that one.
How it goes on too long. It's through. It's all right. All right. How long is this going to go?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he gets it as well, right? I mean, he knows. Seth knows how to just wrench it out, get as much out of a bit of comedy as you can, and then him falling down.
Yeah.
On Family Guy. So
now there's a lot to love about that show. Like I get why people don't like it to a large extent. I don't like it. Like the cutaways can be. It's like it's kind of gimmicky, but I like how they play into it. And Seth's voice work is so.
And he's a great singer, composer, everything.
Yeah.
He's extremely talented. I do have a little. I sent him a tweet one time back when Twitter I think was relatively new, and I sent him a tweet. And I said, "Man, I just really think Seth, you're just extremely talented." And he wrote me back. I thought that was really cool. And he says, "Thanks, man. I really appreciate that." I know. So you do that, and I'm your fan for life. And I think that he pushes the envelopes. There's lots of things that he does, and I don't agree with, but it's funny because it's that shock value thing again. And even like with the flashbacks, if you think, how do you make something different? We know, really, I can't think of any other show, TV show or any cartoon show or whatever that uses that flashback, that sort of thing. I mean, he created that, so there's a lot of substance there. Because how do you recreate something? How do you come up with a new format?
And like within the confines of like where the show started or like the setting, right? Like you have these characters that are supposed to be in suburbia, and it's like how do they get into like the characters into different types of media, like Star Wars, or like now they're in the Middle East, or now they're in space, or now they're in whatever.
You're
scenario.
Not limited to Quahog, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think there is something to be said about like it being gimmicky, and like the whole South Park where you know what I'm talking about. It's like they get a manatee. It's like, do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't watch South Park that often.
Okay, well, South Park made fun of Family Guy about the cutaways where they said it's just so like brain dead, where a manatee just gets like little bingo balls, where it's like it'll grab like, oh, this is worse than, and then it's like,
oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like, what do you call it? Ad-libs. It's like basically just ad-libs.
Mad libs, which is where you're picking things and put it into a story. What's wrong with that? That was something that wasn't being done, though.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm like, and they're really funny moment. Not all of them. Some are just like, all right,
something like that's stupid. But that's the trademark of them.
Yeah.
And it sounds like, I didn't see this episode you're talking about, but they wound up using that humor of a cutaway shot. Did they use that?
Well, I mean,
was it just were they just explaining?
They drew their own characters of like family. Like it was no, like this is deeply criticized. Like we don't like Family Guy. That's very over. It wasn't really trying to be tongue in cheek. It was like, no, this is problematic. Is kind of the vibe I got from it. But and then they mentioned like, yeah, we got an email from The Simpsons saying like, thank you for finally taking them down. Because they stole, or Family Guy stole from The Simpsons.
But Family Guy is honest about that. They even say, I mean, there's episodes on Family Guy saying, we ripped this off from The Simpsons. And then they had the crossovers. I mean, you can say what you want. I just appreciate, I'm going to talk about the Daily Buzz. I think you need something different. I think it was on the CW network. I was on it for 10 years. It was something that nobody else was doing. And you have to figure out a way of how to do something differently. And I want to, just as a sidebar, I love how that nobody understands, adults don't understand Stewie, the Lois and Peter, they don't, so when you talk, they never understand them, and I can't wait for the day where they actually break through.
Well, they make a joke one time where, what is it? Peter's got like a whip or something. He's got like a lashing whip, like they did in the Middle East or like back in the year or whatever. And he's like, whoosh, look at this. And Stewie comes up, he's like, wow, Dad, that's a pretty cool whip. And then he whips Stewie or whatever. He's like, oh, I thought you couldn't understand me.
But that's the humor behind it. That's awesome. Yes. I think I remember that now that you said
it's throwaway, but... No, I like how they make fun of like the little quirks that they do. And so, oh, quick, cut away to the house. That should make everything better. And it's like, oh no, it doesn't.
It's a machine, and you know what? Seth MacFarlane is somebody that Fox canceled his show. obviously there was people wanted it back, brought it back, and then he did American Dad. And
Which is amazing. That's
my favorite parts
show.
of American Dad is when they change the opening sequence. Like something different will happen. Like
it's always different.
No, well, I know it's always different, but like they'll
you're
use it
saying
as part of the story.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like maybe he might not wreck into the flagpole one day, or you know.
Yeah, no, I know what you're
something
talking about.
different. I love, and they've done that on Family Guy a couple times. Like when they run up the stairs, and one of the showgirls, back when they used to have showgirls up on the side, and they change it, and he's like, I thought I paid for the abortion.
Or one where like Peter falls down and he kills that show performer. He's like, man, my knee hurt. And she's like, I need her. He's like, man, this.
I love when they do that, and they don't do it too much, which that's what I see on American Dad do it more than Family Guy. But it's smart because I always wait to see, are they going to do something different here this time? Are they going to do it? And, you know, I think they've only done it maybe twice, maybe 3 times on Family Guy, changing it up. Well, who would have thought that you and I would be talking about all of this? This is great.
Yeah, well, I think, are we on time, Jay? Yeah, well, I guess that's time.
That's a Letterman thing. You know, he's always, how are we doing on time? We okay on time? We on time? All right.
Well, time's important, right?
Well, thanks. Is this part where I promote everything?
You can if you want.
You can check me out on the national TV show. It's called Daily Flash. You can go to dailyflashshow.com. Check your local listings and times. I'm all over social media. Look for me, MitchEnglish.com. Thanks for your time this time. Until next time, I'm Mitch English, reminding you to stay clear and follow Broken English podcast. Do y'all have a website?
Not yet.
Okay, get your podcast website and continue to watch. MitchEnglish.com is my website.
Now, Daily Flash is actually every day, right?
Yes, it is. And you can watch it online if you want at dailyflashshow.com. You going to make it pop up on the screen?
I mean, we could, maybe.
I mean, I hate for you to go, do a little something extra for Dad. I mean, I did, raise you. You're half of my DNA.
Yeah, that's true.
You never paid me back. That'd be one way you could pay me back is maybe put, MitchEnglish.com up there.
I got you an Xbox one time.
Dude, let me tell you something. Okay, well, all right, my favorite video game?
Red Dead
Redemption. You can play it now on your iPhone. Download it from Netflix.
Technology.
And for Christmas, you gave me the Xbox controller thing where I can play it. I love it. It's my favorite thing in the world. And I can't wait till they make a movie. And I can't believe they have not made a movie of Red Dead Redemption yet.
There's a lot of, see, this. I can just.
Can I come back and talk more about that?
I can just yap forever. So we'll kill it here. Plugs are there. Links in the description. If we do that, if not, oh well. And that's us signing off. The Broken English brother and Broken English Padre.
Not so broken here. We won't be right back.
Yeah, the papers.
And then you have to act like you're talking. And then it'll kind of like go black. Or can you make it go dark and when we're talking?
And then the light comes on.
And then the light comes on.